It's a good feeling just playing in a state championship game.
I knew from the very beginning that we could at least make it to the Final Four. You just hope that you're the one that stands out above the rest.
My favorite thing about playing basketball this season was making the memories with my guys.
It felt good. We came up short our freshman year. And last year we came up short third place. And this year we went through a lot throughout the season, a lot of adversity. But at the end we got it done.
What it was like to hold this trophy, it was unexplainable. It felt good.
Not many people get to do it. It was exciting. I was kind of nervous, but we pulled it off, so.
We took a couple of losses, so I think that made us better throughout the season. Just made us keep going.
After we played Jackson, I think, is when I really kind of knew. We were able to compete real well with them, and knew that's how we'd have to compete for the rest of the season.
It felt good to beat Charleston, knowing that they was a championship team last year.
My favorite memory is traveling with the team and winning state.
Probably being a state champion, my favorite memory. Felt good just to bring one home after so many years.
Probably just traveling and bonding with the team, and of course the state championship.
It felt good, cause like a lot of people say, like I'm water boy, but mainly I just feel, and like I can finally get a ring. You know, I can flex it and say I was part of the team.
It's fun activities out there. We just have fun.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. I don't know, I think maybe I'm the first exchange student be championship. All the trips with the team, I had good memories.
Key is just working together good as a team, playing. Without teamwork, you're never going to go anywhere. Just one player can't get you to the championship.
I'm Jada Jones, I'm a junior, and I play forward.
I'm AJ Ruff, a junior, play point guard.
BJ Williamson, a junior guard for New Magic County Central.
Caden Minner, guard, junior for New Magic County Central.
Brady Newsom, senior, forward out of New Magic County Central.
I'm Tamarion Pettigrew. I'm 16, manager. I film the games. I do a little bit of everything.
My name is Marvin Cranford. I'm 15, and I'm a power forward.
My name is Raymond Brooks. I play power forward, and I'm 16 years old.
My name's Julian Curtois. I'm a junior, and I play shooting guard.
JG Harris, 2025, guard.
My name is Guilherme Montanheiro. I'm a senior, and I'm a 4.
My name is Luke Johnson. I'm a junior, and I was a manager.
My name is Lee Kennedy. I play center, and I'm a junior.
I'm proud to welcome to the studio 10-time state champion and a member of the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, legendary coach Lenny McFerrin, assistant coach Dontre Jenkins, and Lenny McFerrin Jr. Coach, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you on the show again.
Thanks for having us.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great season and another trip to the Final Four, winning the Class III state championship. Coach McFerrin, does it ever get old?
No, it doesn't get old. Winning is everything. I don't care what everybody say, winning is everything. And no one loves a loser. So I would say state championships, that's how they decide whether or not you win or not. And I love every bit of it.
Well, you've won state championships in 4 decades. So besides the longevity of it, what's different about your first state championship, the game, versus now?
Well, the first championship, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just there, having fun. Now it's a job. And again, I tell people that you say, I love it. No, you don't love it unless you win. And I'm telling you right now, this group of guys that we had this year love to win. And I loved every bit of it.
Well, Coach Jenkins, you and I were sitting here this time last year. You lost in the Final Four. What's different about the team this year compared to last year?
The guys was hungry, coming off of last year's team, coming up short, coming home with third place. They had their mindset and had a goal of getting back there and coming home with the championship this year. And you could see it all year long. They kept getting better, kept improving, and we got there and we got the job done.
So, Coach Jenkins, even your all-state players, do you see some improvement in them?
Yes, sir, all year long.
Leadership?
leadership, stepping up. When we need things done, we can count on those guys to do it. Jadis and BJ, class act guys. Coach Mack, get on to them. Yes, sir, no, sir. Me or Coach Mack Jr., get on to them. Yes, sir, no, sir. You ask them to do something, and they're going to try to do it to their best ability.
Coach McFerrin Jr., you played for your dad.
Yes, sir.
You saw him win state championships as when you played, when you're in high school, and you also seen him win state championships just a month ago. How's the game changed? Is it faster? Is it the same game? What's the game changer for you?
It's basically the same. There's no change on that. It's a lot of changes with the kids' attitude for us playing. Back in the day, when we played, it was more hungry, humble. We didn't have social media and all that, so we was dying to get to the court. Nowadays, kids have a lot of interruptions, and they can play videos, they can do a whole lot of other things, so their concentration level is a little lower than it was back then.
So Twitter and Xbox, it's got everybody not as committed as they used to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, you've had a couple of exceptional players in Jadis Jones and B.J. Williamson. B.J. was an All-State player as a freshman, Jadis as a sophomore, and they were both selected this year All-State. We got a chance to talk to those two young men, and I'll give you a chance to talk about them after we watch this interview. I'm joined today by two of New Madrid County Central's finest, Jadis Jones and B.J. Williamson. They were just named for the second time as All-Staters, and they're also state champions. Guys, welcome to the show. Jadis, welcome back.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
B.J., welcome to the show. Jadis, let's start with you. We had you sitting here about a year ago after your trip to the Final Four. How different does this feel? You were kind of a bridesmaid last year, and now you're a state champ. What kind of feeling do you have on that?
It's a little different feeling, kind of the same though. Last year not having him, but having him this year and being able to get it done the right way, other than coming up third or second, or not even getting there, just getting it done. It felt good to have all my teammates with me.
So, BJ, how do you feel about it after your hard work's paid off? You're an All-Stater, and you won the state championship. How do you feel about that?
Feel good to come back, get back on track, be back on the ones I love to play with.
You were an All-Stater as a freshman, and then you missed last season. How does it feel to come back as a junior and have another All-State season?
It feels good, just know I can come back and still perform at a high level.
Jadis, when did you realize that this team was special and you could win the state championship?
I'll say when we came back from the Christmas break and we played over the Charleston shootout, from that moment, I think we ended up playing Nixa at some time, and we competed with them real well, even though we didn't win that game. I think that showed the team that was like, we could get it done. And ended up going on a 13-game win streak, I think, ever since then.
Is that where I was at? That was one of the few games I saw in person this year. Is that where you got the famous headbutt?
Yeah, at Charleston, yeah.
Your mom wasn't very happy about that.
No, she wasn't.
So let's talk a little bit about Coach McFerrin. I think you've just given him his 10th state championship. What does Coach McFerrin mean to you?
It means a lot. He's a good coach. He cares about us on and off the court.
Jadis, you just handed the guys 10th state championship. How do you feel about Coach McFerrin?
I feel it's a good man, stand-up guy. He's a totally different person off the court and on the court. But on the court and off the court, you can learn a lot of life lessons, though.
BJ, I don't know what the story is behind this, but why were you late for the post-game press conference?
I was giving my mom and dad a hug, emotional moment.
That is a great moment in your history of your life. So that's what we're doing here at A Corp Media. We're trying to document history. And once again, I want to tell you congratulations, and we expect you to be back next year.
Thank you. Thank you.
B.J. Williamson and Jadis Jones, All-Staters, New Madrid County Central. Coach McFerrin, tell us a little bit about your All-State player, B.J. Williamson.
Well, he's second to none. He's a man among boys. And I tell everybody who watched the game of basketball or watched the game of athletics, period, it's all about the players. If you don't have the players, you're not going to win. You have the players, you have a chance to win. And I tell them that, good players make great coaches. And when you got players like we had this year, us as coaches, it was easy because we sat back and just had them to go out there and just play. And these, my assistant coaches, they did a fantastic job with these players because, again, they were doing some things, the coaches I'm talking about, our coaches were doing some things, saying some things that I didn't have an idea of what was going on. And so I think, again, the players, we had the players to do the job.
So, Coach Jenkins, you know Coach McFerrin's history. You know some of the history of his players like Lamont Frazier and those guys back in the old days. But B.J. Williamson has one of the quickest first steps I've ever seen. His athleticism. Tell us a little bit about B.J.
We try to make the game easy for B.J. Get the ball to B.J., and B.J., you do what you do. You know, we put him in situations where he get the ball on the baseline, B.J., go take the baseline. And when you give him that green light, he's going to do it to the best of his ability. If it's a 6'9" guy standing underneath the rim, he's going to attack him. He's not afraid of anything. But I think that would kind of separate him from the rest of the players, that he's going to accept the challenge, and if you don't finish the first time, he's going right back at you the second time.
He's got a quick first step, Coach McFerrin, and he also rebounds as a small player. He actually is a great rebounder. So tell us what you think about B.J.
He's a beast. You know, I told my players a long time ago, we try to make you pit bulls on the floor. We want you growling. He's all the above.
He is one of the fastest players I've ever seen.
Yes, sir.
His vertical, he just explodes when he jumps. Coach McFerrin, down there on the end, tell us a little bit about your big man, Jadis Jones. I mean, we've talked about him a lot, but he's just outstanding player.
Well, you can tell Jadis just plays a lot of basketball. And when he's out on the floor, you don't worry about him because, again, I tell you, when we changed our method of who we was going to have to throw the ball inbound was Jadis. When we didn't have a turnover after he turned to start throwing the ball inbound. That's something that everybody don't think about until it's too bad, it's too late, the man is taking the ball away from him. But when we changed and put him on the outside to throw it inbound to basketball, simple as that, our whole season changed.
He's got a very high basketball IQ, Jadis does. I know he loves football also, but there's many games, the last 3 or 4 games, it seems like we broadcasted every game that y'all had there the last few, and he would have like 28 points and 22 rebounds. He just dominated the game. But he plays within the system, Coach Jenkins. Tell us a little bit about that, because he's not out trying to shoot 3-pointers every game. He's trying to play within the system.
Jada's going to do whatever it takes to get the win. If we tell him to get in the paint and we need 20 touches in the paint, he's going to do that. If we tell him to bring the ball down the floor, to release some pressure off the point guard, he's going to do that too. And no questions asked. He's going to do whatever it takes to help the team be successful, and at the end of the day, help the team win.
That's a good point, Coach McFerrin. He actually did play a lot of guard, bringing the ball down.
Yes, he did.
But he also was a dominant rebounder, maybe the best rebounder in the state of Missouri this year. He doesn't get a lot of credit for his other parts of the game because he is a finisher. When he gets close to the basket, he puts the ball in the basket. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, a lot of that comes from being a leader. You know, he was the captain of the team, and like we told him, you got to show it before you can tell it. So he's got to prove what he can get done.
He like you said a while ago, he's also a beast.
Yes, sir.
And he's tenacious, he's a leader, and he's a winner. And he's got all the qualities that you like in a player.
Yes, no doubt about it.
He's a total package.
He's a total package.
He wants to win. Well, Coach Jenkins, this is probably a good question for you. I mean, we talk about BJ and Jadis all the time, but many broadcasts, your role players really come through for you, especially in the last 2 or 3 games. So tell us a little bit about the other players that really added to the team.
I'm going to start off with A.J. Ruff. A.J. takes a lot of heat from Coach Mack. Some people, you'll see it in pictures, or if you watch the game, you'll see Coach Mack getting on him pretty hard. And a lot of players couldn't take it. But A.J., he's taken it for 3 years, and he's accepted the challenge, and Coach Mack loves him. Needless to say, you might not be able to tell it in the pictures or if you're watching the game how tough he's getting on him, but he's loving him like a grandson, and he's made that statement several times to A.J. Next, you got Braden Newsom, our second senior that played a lot of minutes for us this year. Without Braden, I don't think we win the championship. A lot of things he done went unseen. His name wasn't in the paper like Jada's and BJ, but he's another kid that if you ask him to do something, he's going to do it to the best of his ability. He's going to give you 100%, and with no questions asked. Third is Caden Minner. Caden hadn't played in 2 years. He tore his ACL 2 years back-to-back in football. So adding him to this group, he's played with them since they was in junior high. Adding him back to this group, it really helped us with a little bit of depth, even though we only played 5 or 6 guys most games. But he definitely contributed, stepped up and knocked down some big threes, played good defense throughout the season. And last but not least, Julian Courtois. You know, like the rest of them, Julian doesn't do anything to get his name in the paper, but he's going to hustle, he's going to play defense, and he's going to do everything we ask him to do.
One thing I noticed about Courtois, he doesn't make any mistakes. He does help control the ball. He doesn't turn the ball over. He plays within the system. The role players you've got there, Coach McFerrin, what do you think about, you know, they really stepped up in the last 3 or 4 games, really all year long, but, you know, Jadis and BJ needed a lot of help there the last 3 or 4 games. So tell us about your role players.
Well, the role players is the reason why we won the state. It's because they finally stepped up. You know, like I said, they took a lot of weight off of Jadis and BJ. And we was glad that they made that decision, because if it wasn't for BB, we wouldn't have been there.
It was big.
Yes, sir.
So, Coach Jenkins, last year we were sitting here talking about losing to the eventual state champ, Vashon. And this year, when did you find out you were getting moved down to Class 3? When does that happen for a team?
We normally turn our enrollment in towards the end of the year, so April, May. We didn't get the news until probably November.
And in November, you probably thought, I've got Charleston square in my mirror.
Yes, sir. And going into the season, we knew that, you know, especially when the districts came aligned, you had us in District 1 and Charleston in District 2. We meet up in that sectional game, and we knew all along, once we meet up, there was basically a championship game right there between the two teams.
I would say preseason, Charleston probably thought they had the advantage over you, but once the season started and y'all played a few times, you really woke them up, I would say.
The first matchup we played in the CMO Conference tournament, they had a couple guys out. You had P.J. Foreman that was out, another guard that was out that didn't play that game. And we think we only beat them by like 7 points or something like that. Next game, we go to Charleston. Charleston's a tough place to play, and we just don't show up. They run us out the gym. So going into the sectional game, we told our guys, this is it right here. You know, we made up twice. We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. So the better team is going to come out with the win. The team that can make an adjustments and can do some things that the other team not expecting will be the ones that win.
Well, Coach McFerrin, we talked about this a little bit already, but, I mean, to you, it's your dad. But to a lot of people, he's a Hall of Fame legendary coach. How is it sitting over there on the bench with your dad?
It's very exciting. You know, I wouldn't trade it for the world. You know, it's a blissful feeling, you know, to be sitting beside a legendary coach. I have learned a lot from him, and all the coaching skills that I have came from him. So my hat's off to him.
Well, Coach McFerrin, how is it coaching with your son and your other son? Because I know Dontre's just like a son.
Well, he's just like a son, because again, I had him when he was a manager, and he was, I don't know how old, because I don't know how old he is right now.
Same
but
age as my son.
when he was a manager, hey, I knew then he was going to be a fine coach. And he's one of the best coaches. And like I told him, I told both of them, I said, I don't want y'all to just sit on the bench. I need y'all to coach. They doing that. And I tell you this, the coaching that they bring is something that anybody would love to have. Because again, they tell me what to do. And that's the reason why I said, I asked them, I said, don't sit on the bench and don't be a coach. Because there's a lot of fans in the stands. But they bring to the table attributes that you don't want anybody to miss, because again, they are just that valuable to this ball club.
Well, there's two things I know. Coach Jenkins don't like to sit on the bench, and he don't like to be quiet.
He's not.
So, Coach Jenkins, you've got a strong nucleus coming back. I think you're returning, 4 or 5 starters. You know, big expectations, you know, winning breeds winning. So the fans at New Mexico County Central are expecting a lot next year. So how's it look going forward?
Oh, you said that we returned 4 starters. You know, you starting AJ Ruff, BJ Williamson, Jada Jones, and Caden Minner that started a lot of games. But you also got those guys that came in, Julian Courtois, Raymond Brooks came in and gave us some minutes down the stretch of the season. So, like you said, we returned most of our guys, but we got to come in with the right mindset of we got to work. You know, nothing's going to be given to us. Everybody, we got a target on the chest. You know, we'll be the defending state champions. We'll be the defending state champions, and everybody's gonna want to take us down.
Everybody wants to knock that chip off your
You
shoulder.
know about that.
You can only be the king for 1 year,
Right.
unless you win it again.
Yes, sir.
So thank you guys. Congratulations on a magical season. I know it was fun to watch. It seems like every time y'all had a game, we were there to broadcast it. And like I said, it was really fun to watch the whole team. It was a team effort.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would also like to thank my sister-in-law at Juju Promotions for being able to help bring New Madrid County Central basketball games, Sarah Ezel at Southeast Health Network, and Ray Mills at Moreland Dodge. So if it wasn't for those sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring all the New Madrid County Central games this year, and a few other of our sponsors. But those 3 have ties to New Madrid, and I just wanted to say from the bottom of our heart, thank you for sponsoring those games and bringing the state champion New Madrid County Central Eagles to your TV.